Hello, everybody. Welcome on the Lights on Data show. Today, we're going to see how we're going to grow a data culture.
Amazing. And I have the pleasure of introducing our wonderful guest. Chris is a data god, analytics rebel, Power BI boss, and white rabbit. He is a senior big data BI solutions architect and developer. Chris has been working in the data and analytics space for nearly 20 years, and he has dedicated his professional career to making data and information accessible to the masses. We absolutely love that. He is continually learning new things and teaching others from these experiences. To help people keep up with this ever-changing landscape, Chris frequently posts on LinkedIn and to his blog. So make sure that you follow Chris, as he has vast experience in a wide variety of business applications and business processes, with an emphasis on insurance, banking, risk, finance, marketing, and driving ROI through utilization of agile development best practices. We're very excited to have you on and to have data divinities in our show. Welcome, Chris.
Well, I am so excited to be here. This is one of my absolute favorite topics to be talking about. I'm super pumped to be kicking off our day talking about this.
So are we. We're very happy to have you. First question off the topic: how does it feel like to be a data god?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. And so it's a super funny story. Like you said, I've been working in the area for a long time and started to become like that go-to person that everyone looked to take on challenges, resolve issues and whatnot. And I was called the magician. I was called the magic man and the ninja. And someone said, "Oh, you know what, Chris, you're just a data god." And I was like, oh my gosh, it dawned on me, because I was at that moment, I was trying to solve the question of, how did you get to know all these crazy things? And I'm like, well, I had a list and I was going to just write a blog and here are the top 10 people that you should follow if you're looking for data. And, you know, those are legitimate blogs or whatnot. But I'm like, oh my gosh, I should create this data god list of the people that are out there contributing and that I follow and I learn from. And so that's what I did, is I created a website just specifically because someone said that to me, and I thought that was so fun. And it's proven to be a real great way to engage with people in a fun, lighthearted way on a topic that could be dry, but why should it be dry? This stuff's exciting and interesting. Let's keep it that way.
Yeah, and the website where people can find you is KratosBI.com.
That is right.
Well, you can see all the data divinities, all the data gods there. And as
the
you
YouTube
said,
channel associated with it.
Of course.
We're going to post it here, and I'm going to post a link in the comments for everybody to click on and check out and subscribe. It's full of great content, and not only full of data gods, but also if you want to learn Power BI, I think that's the channel for you to go into.
Amazing.
Well,
and I can see you have an aura as well, if I look at you.
Yeah, I now have a halo. Oh, wait, there we go.
That's amazing. Chris, what is your own journey with all of this?
Oh, that's fantastic. So I started out in the business. But in like technical consulting, like sales and like lining people up with solutions. And this was the early aughts. Realized I had a real passion for data and delving into data structures and modeling. And at the time, I noticed there was this huge gap between when I'd have a conversation with people who knew data and when I'd have conversations with people in the business, and like the lines just weren't connecting, right? People in data would be talking about one thing, and it'd be similar what people on the business side were talking about, and it didn't line up. And it was at that time I saw the first an article. It was a little blurb, I think it was in Money magazine, that said IBM is investing crazy amount of money in this new thing called business intelligence. And then as I started to read about what business intelligence was at that time, I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to bring data and we're going to line it up with the business and we're going to make them talk the same language and focus in on delivering results that people can take and do things with. I'm like, I am in. And so it was at that point in time, I dropped what I was doing, because I was doing like solution-based designs and technology, like I was part of the first IoT phone deployment. I was part of all sorts of cool things that we were working on. But I'm like, I love data and I wanted to focus on it. So I abandoned all that. I got on and I started running and managing an Oracle business intelligence platform and ran that for a number of different years and went through this huge upgrade where I needed 4.5 million to upgrade the platform to get all the bells and whistles I needed. Wow. I only got 2.2 million. I was like, okay, still did it. And then we no more than it was like a month after the deployment, like everything's up, everything's running. And I got invited to this thing called introducing MSBI. Oh, what? Microsoft Business Intelligence. I thought, oh, free drinks, appetizer, why the heck not, right? And it was in that meeting where they laid out all the features and functionality that this platform had. And I went, oh, that's the $4.5 million thing that I wanted. Mm-hmm. And then I priced stuff like all the servers I'd need for it. I'm like, oh, that's $190,000 versus the 4.5 million. I'm like, I am on the wrong tech stack. And so the next day I started applying for new jobs in the MSBI side. I have no idea what I was doing. I have to switch. I'm sure I can Google, you can figure this stuff out. And so I abandoned the Oracle platform. I switched over to Microsoft and I've been on that ever since.
And now you're also an MVP.
Yes. Yeah. A Microsoft MVP 3 times. So that's exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I love how fast you did everything. Okay, so today I decide this is the right path for me and I walk on that path and that's it. I love that.
Well, I think it's super important to always be looking at that horizon. Where is that castle on the hill that you're trying to strive for? And be honest with yourself, right? Be honest at the direction and the trajectory you're heading in. If you're going down the wrong path, switch. Mm-hmm. It's fine. Like new information comes in, you adjust your direction and your course. And at the time, Oracle was awesome. That was great. That was the place to be. But I saw the writing on the wall of what was going with MSBI, so I switched. And then we started to roll out Tableau, and Tableau was amazing. But then I saw the demo of Power BI, and I went, nope, hang on. That castle on the hill is shifting, right? It was Oracle, then it was Tableau, then it was Power BI. Okay, hey, I see where the direction is going. I want to get on board and be part of that. And the earlier you can be reflecting upon that those shifts in technology and getting on board, often the better off you're going to be in the long run.
Yeah.
I took a lot of flack from people on the Tableau side for many years, and Tableau is great. Don't get me wrong; it's a fantastic platform. I love the reporting capabilities, but I was looking at the whole integrated solution. I'm like,
right,
okay, there's a lot to be said on the Power BI side because it has the semantic layer, it has the automation, it integrates fully with the Power BI stack, it does the embedded, there's a lot over there. And that's why I made the switch then as well.
You brought in a lot of great change, it sounds. And I'm sure it wasn't easy and we had your hurdles, but the company benefited from your initiative and embraced that success. So great job.
Yeah, I think it's important. And when we talk about building a data culture, I think that's one of the biggest things that you have to look for is, right? Cast a broad net across your organization, looking for sparks to start to come to life, and then making sure that you feed them with the resources, tools, the training, the capabilities necessary to change that spark into a roaring fire. And the stuff you could see inside of an organization when it comes to transformations, by making sure that you're empowering people to take that next step and to move as fast as they're able to, it's really transformative.
Yeah. And see, you were that spark and they've invested in you. And with your help, you really proved what it can be done. And I assume you brought more and more people on board and they saw the potential, the benefits, and it just naturally grew from there. Did you start creating that community of practice or have to find other champions that you would work with closer and from different business units and start growing from within?
Yeah, you're spot on, right? Like a data culture or any culture isn't one person. It is how the community works and operates together. So if you're talking about growing a data culture, that means that is something that anyone in your organization can and should do. You can and should be able to move that forward, to grow that. And so if you're the CIO and you want to start data culture, fantastic. CIO should do that stuff. That'd be great. But if you have someone in your org or you're not the CIO and you want to help foster that and build that up, great. The whole point of a data culture is to bring that out of people. From the executive class down to anyone who just started in the company. You want to help people take that next step forward and keep that momentum and those ideas growing and maturing inside people.
Are there any ingredients to this recipe that you would recommend anybody that wants to start data culture, they should invest in it? So one, you mentioned, yes, find that spark, find that champion, invest in them and support them. So in a way, it starts from the top with that support that's being given, but also starts at the bottom with somebody driving that initiative and growing it out. Is there anything else that comes to mind that you would recommend?
Yeah, water rolls downhill. You want to make things as easy as possible for people to be able to engage and work with. Set some boundaries, set some guardrails, right? Like we always talk about, okay, you can't hurt the company. So you got to make sure things are secure. And especially if you're in the cloud, you can't like accidentally publish your client list or health information can't go out. So make sure you're secure and make sure that people can't hurt each other. I talk about these 2 lanes, right? But once you kind of establish these lanes and people can't hurt each other, they can't hurt your company, figure out how to enable people to go down that highway, that analytics highway, as fast as they're possible, as fast as they can, so that they're able to contribute, that they're able to grow, and really recognize that people are on their own personal journey. So if someone's just taking that first step out, your coaching and your counseling is going to be different than someone who's on year 10 or year 3. So you have to be very understanding and engaging with the people about what they're doing and helping them at their level, maturity point.
Do you recommend formalizing this in any way? So having a training program that's for different levels. So whenever you're onboarding somebody, depending on the level that they're coming with, you have a different type of training for them, or depending on the role that they're stepping into?
So that's a fantastic question. I think it really all depends upon the resources and time that you have inside your company. If you can map all those things out and you can lay out all those trainings, hey, freaking fantastic. Great. Go ahead and do that. If you don't, I would really recommend teams go out there and find what is it that are the courses or free resources that anyone who's joining or engaging with your team should get up to speed on, understand, and know how to work with, right? Lay that stuff out so that as new resources roll on and off, they know what they need to know, or they have a defined place that they can go to understand those capabilities. And when we think about, I work in manufacturing, and I've always held, or not always, but for over a decade, I've held Six Sigma, lean processing, lean development certifications. The biggest thing you take away from that is like variance is your enemy. Make things as easy and straightforward and consistent as you possibly can, but try to provide people with templates and patterns that allow them to be as successful as they possibly can as early as they can. So if you're working with a team who's just starting out in data engineering, give them templates and packages and processes to follow that make it really easy for them to be successful. If you're working on the Power BI visualization side, give them templates, give them color themes, give them style guides, give them a good process for how they conceive of and think of doing their visualization and telling their data story.
Nice.
Just step back a little bit, and could you give us your definition of data culture, or a company that has a data culture? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. The way I think of a data culture, it's how your organization broadly across all of the communities engage with and leverage data to drive action or insights and that lead to action inside your organization. So a data culture for some people may just be knowing how to look at data and take the right understanding from it. A data culture may be growing data engineering from within a given business unit, which is one of the things Gartner recommends, because the tech can be trained. Business knowledge and how things work is much harder. So I think you need to really have a holistic approach for how you come and manage and conceive of your data culture.
Yeah.
And then from the end user perspective, or for the person living that data culture? What does that mean?
Yeah, that means that they have the ability to engage and with data, so that they can set and chart their own course, to leverage data to help them drive their career, be more productive, be more successful. And so that may be limited to, for an individual, just consuming and interacting with data. Maybe all I need as a consumer is I just need a KPI, right? Thumbs up or a thumbs down when something is bad. Maybe that's all I need. Or maybe I need the full abilities to be able to do lots of data engineering, data science, data analytics on that. And having a defined path and way to be able to get a hold of that, to be able to take advantage of those capabilities, so that I can grow as an individual, I can help my team, I can help my department, I can help my company.
And I feel it's also a shift, at least at that management decision-making role. There's a shift in that mentality, that you're not going on a whim, or not just based on your past experiences that you're coming up with some decisions, but you're saying, okay, well, let's look at the data, or let's start gathering some data and then see, are we going to the right direction? Let me start my day by not just opening my email inbox, opening that dashboard and see where I stand on today.
Wow.
Well, right. And maybe it's not just your email, but maybe it's a dashboard that's integrated with your email to highlight the highest priority items or issues that are inside your organization, pulling forward those contacts, or adding in a view that allows you to identify what are those things you should be engaging with first. Yeah. Maybe it is an email, maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's you should be setting up a meeting with clients, maybe you should be booking an airline flight over to go see someone, right? Yeah. So having a data culture means letting that data and having that data be able to help you guide and decide what you're going to do in any given day to help drive your goals and your company's goals.
Makes sense. Just want to take a moment here, say hello to our audience. Thank you so much for joining us today. Scott Taylor, the Data Whisperer, is mentioning the Zeus of Mount Data Olympus. There you go. That's another tagline you can add to your name. Dustin's mentioning, very cool. So great to see a member of the Milwaukee community on the show. Absolutely. Ioana, nice for you to be here. Thank you so much. LinkedIn user, hello, loving the energy today. Maribel, yes, the data culture is now one person. Love it. Aziz comes here from YouTube, and he's mentioning that he's transitioning in the data industry from engineering, and he's really enjoying the beneficial resources to understand data. Thank you all, are awesome. And I assume the resources are LightsOnData and KratosBI.
Hopefully.
They kind of,
and that is fantastic. Can we go back to that last comment? What was that?
Yes, we can.
Aziz is spot on. One of the things that we need to have in our data space, and to have a true data culture, is we need to be welcoming of the people that are in engineering, are in our business, are working across our organizations, welcoming them into building and working with data, because this is the days of only IT knows how to work with data and only IT can work with these tools has gone away. That is an old mentality that was when everything was done in C+ or Sharp, like these complex, awful tools. Yeah, you had to spend your career trying to figure out how to do that stuff. You did, right? That has gone, right? The skill level of people that are just like coming out of college, like people in business with graduate business degrees are coming in and saying they know Python. They want to engage and they want to build up some notebooks in order to do an analysis. Yeah. If you don't have an answer for that, you don't have a great data culture that you're integrating and working with, right? You need to have all of these tools available broadly across your organization, because you don't know what insights those people are going to unlock and the priorities that are going to help shift the way your organization does business. And if we just look to our executives for leadership on these things, they're our leaders, right? They're going to drive lots of these things, but the biggest sparks that you're going to find in any company are going to come from that individual, right? That person who sees something in their day-to-day lives and goes, hang on, that doesn't look right. Something is an issue here. And if you give them a framework and a place where they can go and they can start to dig into the data and cover that truth of what's going on inside your business, you can transform the way business is done inside your organizations. And I want to make sure our data or our engineers, our people in business are engaged and have those tools, have those capabilities to bring that stuff forward. And so thank you for joining us. Thank you for stepping out of your field that is a comfort zone, right? You stepping into that unknown. That's super brave. That should be congratulated. That should be celebrated. To anyone who's joining and watching this who's not in data, please engage with us. We want to help you be more, do more with data. And if you are in data, reach that hand out, pull people up, get them up and going.
What a lovely message.
Exactly, yeah. But I think everyone has to benefit from that. A person who studied engineering and worked in engineering brings a different perspective, brings new skills, and really changes the way we do things because of those new perspectives and because of that different background and different. Yeah, so it's really good. It's a win-win situation.
Absolutely.
100%.
And Aziz, I wonder if are you stepping into data engineering by any chance? Just out of curiosity.
He just wants us 4 more letters.
We have a question here, Chris, from Irina, and she's wondering, how would you show the ROI on data culture and data-driven business decisions? In my experience, it's a challenge to quantify and qualify, I assume, the value from better business decisions.
Good point.
Yeah, that is a great question, especially when you talk about how long the old methodology, or the first place my mind goes to is how long that old methodology used to take in order to get you to an insight. And
even the accuracy at the end, how accurate was that decision? If you're looking back and you're looking at the data and comparing it in hindsight, how much better would it have been if it was based on data?
And the other question, the opposite comes is, did we do the wrong thing by looking at the data? There is a balance there that does have to be drawn out. But I think you really start to get into is opportunity cost around the ROI when it comes to take and deliver. And that's where I start to hone in, especially as we talk about engineering data solutions and the time it takes to deliver down the old classical IT-led engineering path versus a hybrid path that allows for both that IT-led engineering and the business-led engineering. And what you get there is you get to right-size solutions for the need, for the importance of it, for the audience. So if you have a solution that's going to support all of your customers and it's going to drive your organization, well, you probably need a significant amount of engineering to go into that, and because you can't just have it go down and whoops, I got that wrong. So that classic methodology is still super important. But when it comes to delivering on an individual's results and being productive as an individual, that ROI isn't going to translate, right? Like at no point in time would that guy or gal send in a request to IT for them to take on a huge project. But having that person be able to, an individual, go in and say, you know what, I'm going to look into this, figure this out, and then maybe rapidly fail something. Holy cow. That is a huge win for companies when it comes to the amount of time and energy they save on not sending something down that IT path, right? Yeah. Now you stop that initiative, right? Oh, hey, I think we should make big investments in, what was the bad thing that happened recently? I don't know. Ugly widgets, right? Nobody I think ugly widgets are going to be a great thing. Oh, crap. We did an experiment. Ugly widgets are not popular. People like cute widgets. Okay, great. Now we build out the cute widget path, right? By enabling an individual who's close to people, who can interact with people, who can do those experiments. You can do them quickly. You can iterate in an agile fashion. And with these new modern data tools, if you design it, that person can work on a tool and a platform that can be easily scaled up from that individual to the team, to the department, to that enterprise grade solution. That in and of itself is a massive cost savings when it comes to how and why we would build out and encourage a data culture at companies.
Well said. Speaking of the rapid failures, that's something that I've heard of the Amazon Web Services teams. That's part of their culture, that they need to fail and fail fast and just go through a lot of these and then see what works. So they're not scared of failure as long as it's quick.
Yeah, it's awful if you spend a year and a half doing something and it's a bust, right? If you look at a team out there engaging and building this stuff, but you throw in a team of 10 engineers that are making $100,000 to $200,000 a year, you're in for millions of dollars on something that did nothing, right?
Yeah.
That's a horrible waste.
Oh, yeah.
You want to keep it small. You want to keep those things iterative so you can bounce around and you can test, find that right path out there.
Yeah. Raymond Mari here, who's apparently joining us from South Africa, he likes the idea of enabling the data culture through templates and processes that all stakeholders can use.
Yeah, honestly, start there, right? If you're in data engineering, or if you're in analytics, or if you're in Power BI, create those templates for your organization. Help those people in your company take that step forward. Find those sparks, fan that flame to life, help bring those people out, because that is the way we're going to grow and mature as a species. That's how we're going to grow and mature inside of our data. We need to be putting our hand out and helping people up as much as we possibly can and showing them the right way to do it. That's what templates allow us to do. Don't bang your head, right? Like, here's a good path for you to start down.
Absolutely. So Chris, you've developed a really great data culture, I feel, with your KratosBI. You have the data gods. What's next?
What's next? Yeah, so we just started adding in, I'm doing shorts, long form videos. I've got live streams Tuesdays, 5 o'clock Central Time. Please join, listen on the ride home, listen at the end of your day on Tuesday, right? It's going to be conversations around enterprise grade engineering and analytics. I've got shorts to help out on easier, smaller things, and then longer form videos to help elevate your education as we go deeper into different solutions. I am hoping to start to expand into some work inside Databricks and Synapse and Snowflake. Hopefully I should have some videos out there on some of those topics, fingers crossed, relatively soon.
Very nice. Check out youtube.com/c/Chris Wagner Data God for his YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
It's
you,
been
Chris.
great talking with you guys.
Oh, likewise. We love the energy and, of course, the message and the lessons that you're providing to us.
Yes, and everything that you do, I think the impact is huge and is helping lots and lots of people, which is amazing. So keep up the good work, and thank you for everything. And thank you everyone who joined and for your lovely energy as well, and for your questions and insights. So have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.